So hi there. Um, I am Sarah Zink, and if you don't know me, I am. I've decided to go public with this plastic surgery journey that I am on because I was investigating getting some plastic surgery for myself, and literally nobody would comment or respond or answer questions publicly. I got a ton of Facebook messages, some emails, a few texts, but I realized that even though it's 2023, there's a tremendous amount of mystery, and I don't know if it's shame or self consciousness. I'm not quite sure what the scoop is, but I decided that I was going to, as in my typical fashion, do this publicly in the hopes that other people might benefit from my transparency. I have not used Facebook Live in a long time, but I am going to make an effort here to do a screen share and show you a photo. Let's see if I can figure this out. And show you a photo of what I look like. As a matter of fact, we're going to make it easy. I'm going to post it in the comments, and I think that way, oh, can't comment with a photo. And things get interesting now, don't they? I will share a photo. I've lost 140 pounds, and I think it's important to understand that this has happened over a certain amount of time. After I lost 100 pounds, I decided to have a tummy tuck. I had about, let me think, 7 or 8 pounds of skin that had to be removed. And so that started the journey of plastic surgery for me. And then I had my chesticles put back where they belonged. And I really had no plans to get any more procedures done until literally about maybe a month, 8 weeks ago. I was at the salon and had opted to get some lashes put on, and she had to tape this skin above my eyes so much. We laughed about it because there was so much tape. And then when she took the tape off, I realized how much of that was impeding my vision. So I started doing research, and we're not going to look at my bangs today. I started doing some research, and I found a surgeon that, two of them actually. I ended up with about 5 names, and I proceeded to do research on all of them as much as I could. In the U.S., now it's important to know that I'm in Panama, and so the medical care here we have found is tremendously more personal, it's more holistic. It is the burden of the patient to help manage the care and to be responsive to the doctors. And I think there's something lost in the U.S. with everything being handled and you just show up because you don't always know what you're doing and why and how much this costs and why am I getting that done. And so we have found the medical care here to be significantly more comprehensive. We found it to be much more personal. But the one thing that you can't do here is like go to the American Board of Surgeons and see how many reviews or complaints or whatever. You really have to do a significant amount of comprehensive research to make sure you're getting the right person. So after several weeks of research, I narrowed it down to 2 doctors. One was in Colombia, and to be quite honest with you, I did not want to leave Panama if I didn't have to, but this this gentleman in Colombia is board certified in the U.S. and Colombia. He has a whole infrastructure set up and systematic processes and procedures. He was super explanatory, but he wasn't in Panama, and I felt like there was this added complexity of being in yet another country. So a woman had messaged me about the doctor that I ultimately chose. His name is Dr. Patel Ami. And again, I am trying to figure out how to share some things with you. And so I am unclear how to do this right now, but I will post some links. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, look at me. Okay, there in the comments is a link to the doctor that I chose, more about him, more about his background and history, and I wonder, again, trying to figure out how to show you a picture of this weight loss process I've been through. So anyway, this is the doctor that I ultimately chose, and I've had a bunch of you send me questions, so I've written them down, and I'm gonna do my best to answer them in some sort of a logical order. Feel free to post a question in the comments. I'm going to do the best I can to keep up. So this is the doctor I chose, and I will give you the short list. The research I did before I even talked to him gave me confidence in his skills and abilities. The interactions that I had with his office, again, prior to visiting with him, were professional. They responded quickly. Although my Spanish is not rudimentary, it is certainly, I'm not an intermediate Spanish speaker. So it was a bonus that they attempted to communicate in English. I'm attempting to communicate in Spanish. And that was a big deal to me, is that there is a healthy communication, because I don't want somebody operating on my face and the people in his office can't communicate with me, even at a basic level. You do have to pay. I will say, for any of these surgeons, if you're going to have a consultation, you have to pay. The price varies, $75 to $150. I met with this doctor, and we spoke for an hour, because I figured if I paid for an hour, I wanted the whole thing. Asked him a ton of questions. His English is very good, and he actually practiced in Miami, Florida for a while, which I consider the plastic surgery capital of the United States. So he certainly has experience. But what I also liked about him, and the reason I picked him, is because he's not pushy. And I told him I was still vacillating between just getting my eyes taken care of, or while I'm in there, I've had plenty of people say, you don't need plastic surgery, but I want to show you something that you probably can't see from here. But this is a penance, this is a consequence of 140 pounds. And I'll be honest with you, my theory is if I was going to be in surgery, I felt like it was time to let that go and to have him look at that. And so I did ask him to give me a price on that, and we talked about just having my eyes and this part done. And then I contemplated, okay, well, if you're in there, we have these things, this procedure that smooths out all these wrinkles, which is what I ultimately decided. The price difference, if upper and lower eyelid, just plain, is around, don't quote me, but it is around $1,500 just for the surgeon. The total cost might be close to $3,000. But again, it varies depending on who you use, whether they're doing fat injections, if you're just doing the upper or the lower. I'm going to tell you all my prices ballpark here in just a little bit. But again, I made a choice based on what was good for me. and my life, and I live in Panama, so all these considerations factored in. So the the meeting that I had with him, he was very low key, very not pushy, explained everything in great detail, in a little too much detail for me at the time, because what's going to happen is they're literally going to detach my skin, you know, and they don't pull. He says they just maneuver. I mean, it's not like it used to be where you come out smiling and, you know, your eyes are very slanted. The procedures are a bit different now. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything that y'all have asked, and I don't see any questions, so I'm going to just move on. So the rough cost for the entire procedure that I am opted for is around $15,000. Now, you know, this is a very personal decision, and that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money no matter who you are. I did have the money saved up and set aside, and so I don't feel anxious about the cost. But let me tell you what all that includes. It includes the surgeon's fee for a complete neck lift, the facelift, and the blepharoplasty, which is the upper and lower eyelids. It includes the surgical assistant's fee. It includes the hospital fees, which covers the surgery room, all the equipment that they use, the medicines that they use during surgery, the recovery room, and I'll be staying overnight. It includes a nurse who will take me back to my hotel room the next morning, and I'll explain that whole logistic thing in a minute. There's a chin compression strap thing that you have to wear. It includes a 14-day stay at the hotel that's in the medical complex. It includes round-trip airfare from where I'm at to Panama City. It includes 5 lymphatic massages that help your body process all the fluid that is serum. You know, if you've ever scratched yourself, then you know how much fluid your body builds. It includes 2 days of nursing care. Because I'm traveling alone, it's unwise to be alone. And I wanted to be alone because, I'll be honest, I wouldn't be good company. And so it seemed like the wiser choice for me to pay for someone to stay with me. And then it includes extra money. I'm going to be purchasing food, any incidentals. You know, I'll be there 2 weeks. I would rather, budget a little more than I need than not enough. Now here's a perspective. So $15,000 for all of the things I just listed, and in the US the procedures that I listed, the surgeon's fee would be about that much. So just to give you a ballpark of the pricing difference here. The other thing that I had someone ask was how long does a surgery take? What sort of tests do you have to get done? I'm going to be doing one of these a week for several weeks. I want you to be able to see what I'm going through, what I'm dealing with. Also, after the procedure, I want you to see what it looks like. So some of the questions that y'all have sent me include, what tests do I have to have done before? So just the normal stuff, just a blood work, EKG. Again, here in Panama, it's on you to get it done. My blood tests were $20, and that I don't even submit that to my insurance. That's my cost. If I get an EKG with a report, it can be anywhere from $50 to $100. I had someone ask, and I'm going to have better answers after I meet with the doctor, but I had someone ask, will I have drains? And that was, I'll be honest, that was kind of a big deal for me, is how long will I have to have drains? Because I didn't have them for my tummy tuck, and I did not have them for my breast reconstruction. I will have drains for 24 hours-ish. There's 2 of them behind your ear, that just help drain a lot of the fluid that will be coming down into this area. I am reading some of the stuff that y'all have sent me. I don't see any extra questions. This is pretty much what I have to share with you right now. I am happy to answer any questions. I want this to be as transparent of a process as possible and helpful and useful for you. So if you do have any questions, don't hesitate. I'm going to try one more time and see. I don't think I can share graphics right now. So this is what I want you to see, and what I want you to know. And if you have any questions, let me know. And otherwise, I think that is pretty much what I had to say to you today. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for y'all's support. And again, if you have questions, need information, whatever, you let me know. Okay? Bye for now.